The monster had already bitten the stage in half when I raised the broom. Not a sword, not a spear, a broom. 30,000 people were running for the exits. A black beast, the size of a city bus, crawled out of a broken rift above us, dragging strips of torn space from its back. Darius Kane's famous S-Rank sword lay cracked on the floor. One security guard was screaming with his arm bent the wrong way. And I was standing between that thing and my family with a dusty wooden broom in both hands. Mira grabbed my sleeve. Theo, don't swing yet. It eats treasure energy. I noticed. The Void Devourer lowered its split jaw. White light burned between its teeth. My mother and little sister were 20 feet behind me. My father stood in front of them, even though he had no combat hull, no relic armor, and absolutely no business trying to shield anyone from an SS-Rank monster with his body. I looked down. A thin black gold mark burned across my palm.
Owner. Accepted.
The cracked stone under my shoe answered.
Claimed zone. 14.8 meters.
Then the broom answered too.
Foreign matter purification broom. Rank SSSS. Owner Theo Vale.
The Void Devourer charged. The floor shook hard enough to throw people down. Mira's face went white. Theo. I took one step forward and swept. That was it. One normal, stupid left-to-right sweep. The air folded. The monster stopped so fast its claws carved 8 black lines through the stage. Its huge body twisted sideways. Then something invisible grabbed all 6 of its limbs at once and ripped it backward. The Void Devourer flew across the stadium. Not jumped, flew. It smashed through the broken rift it had entered from. The tear in space snapped shut behind it with a sound like a giant sheet of metal being torn in half. Silence hit the stadium. I was still holding the broom. A piece of dust floated off the bristles. Then back at the broom. You beat an SS-Rank treasure beast with cleaning equipment? I looked at the cracked S-Rank sword on the floor. In my defense, the broom is better. A roar exploded through the stadium. Phones rose everywhere. The giant screens above the arena flashed red, then gold.
World record detected. World Hall chat connection. 2.8 billion viewers. New rookie combat record. Theo Vale.
The chat moved so fast, it looked like white rain.
He swept it. He actually swept an SS boss out of reality. All hail, Brother Theo. Brother Theo, please clean my mortgage next. That broom has a higher rank than my family bloodline.
I stared at the messages. This was not how I had expected my 18th birthday week to go. 3 days earlier, I had been praying for a B-rank haul. At 18, everyone got one chance. You entered an awakening center, touched a hall stone, and learned what the rest of your life might look like. If you failed to open a treasure hall, you stayed normal. A hall's rank came from 2 things, its size and the value of the treasure inside it. If you awakened F rank, maybe you found old tools, weak herbs, cheap ore, or a room small enough to use as storage. C rank could make a family comfortable. A rank could make a family rich for generations. S rank changed countries. The largest S-Rank hall ever measured was 31,000 square meters. Its owner had enough rare metal and relics to supply half a national defense force. I would have sold my favorite kidney for B-rank. Not both kidneys. I had standards. Stop bouncing your knee, my little sister Lena whispered beside me. I'm not. She looked down. My knee was moving like it had a personal emergency. Right. We stood outside the Awakening Center with our parents. Thousands of families filled the plaza. Giant screens showed live results from inside. My father, Daniel, wore his old salvage yard jacket, even though Mom had told him 3 times to wear something nice. He had failed his own awakening at 18. He never talked about it like a tragedy. That somehow made it worse for me. Dad had spent 28 years fixing broken machines, lifting scrap, taking overtime, and coming home with metal dust under his nails. Mom repaired uniforms from our apartment. I had worked weekends for the last year, but that barely touched the bills. They had paid for every resonance class I asked for. Every test, every prep session. I knew we still had debt because of it. They pretended I didn't know. Parents were weird like that. Theo, Mom squeezed my hand. Whatever happens, you come back through that door as our son. Understand? Yeah. Dad nodded once. And if you get F rank, we'll still eat tonight. Lena brightened. Can we eat if he gets S rank too? Dad looked at her. We'll review the budget. That got a laugh out of me, which I was pretty sure was the point. I hugged them fast and walked inside before I could think too much. The main chamber looked like a stadium built around one giant black crystal. 100 students stood in a wide circle while officials moved them forward in groups. I recognized two people right away. Mira Soren stood near the front in a cream blouse and short navy coat. Long auburn hair was tied low behind her neck. Everyone knew the Soren name. Her family had produced famous appraisers for 3 generations. A few places away stood Darius Kane. Tall, broad shoulders, black and gold school uniform that probably cost more than my dad's car. His family already owned 2 A-rank halls. Darius looked calm enough to be waiting for coffee. I hated him a little for that. Not personally, just professionally. Darius stepped forward and placed his palm on the hall stone. Golden light exploded to the ceiling. The whole room sucked in one breath. A door appeared behind him. It was huge, bright, and covered in gold carvings. The measurement board started climbing.
B, B, A.
Then S. People screamed. An S-rank hall at 18. The screens filled with a live image from inside his entrance chamber. Gold bars, red crystal ore, weapon racks. A silver dragon skull mounted above a set of black armor.
Size, 26,418 square meters.
The examiner actually laughed in shock. S-rank Golden King's Treasury, confirmed. Darius closed his eyes for 1 second. When he opened them, he was smiling. He had earned that smile. For 11 minutes, Darius was the biggest name in our generation. World Hall chat opened automatically on the main screen.
Darius Kane S-Rank, confirmed. New generation monster. 26K at 18? That family does not miss. Call the National Bureau. Now.
Darius stepped away from the stone. As he passed me, he glanced over. Good luck, Vale. No insult, no smug speech. Somehow that made me more nervous. Mira went next. Her hall opened with soft blue-gold light. A-rank, 8,900 square meters. Shelves of gems, old books, sealed glass cases, rare herbs, and several relic boxes. The appraisers nearly climbed over each other to see the readings. Mira looked happy but controlled. She caught me watching and lifted one eyebrow. Your turn soon. Please don't set the standard any higher. Darius already ruined that for both of us. Then the examiner called my name, Theo Vale. My mouth went dry. I walked to the stone. I thought about Dad's rough hands, Mom working after midnight, Lena using my old cracked tablet for school. Just give me D rank. I pressed my palm to the crystal. Nothing happened. 1 second. 3, 5. Someone behind me shifted. Then I heard wood creak. A door appeared. It was about 6 feet tall. Old brown wood. Crooked frame. One rusty handle. No gold. No glowing dragon. No dramatic music from heaven. It looked like the door to a janitor closet that had lost an argument with moisture. I stared at it. Well, I muttered, at least it's a door.
F.
My stomach dropped. Then, the F vanished.
E. D. B.
My heart slammed once.
A.
The room went quiet.
S.
Someone gasped. Then the letter changed again.
SS.
Nobody moved.
SSS.
The examiner took one step back.
S.
The main screen flashed an error, then kept going.
SSSS.
An alarm began somewhere above us.
SSSSS.
Mira's mouth opened. Darius turned fully toward me. The final result appeared in huge gold letters.
SSSS.
7S. The hall stone cracked. Not shattered, cracked straight down the middle, like it had decided it was done with today. For 3 full seconds, nobody said anything. Then every screen in the Awakening Center turned gold.
World record confirmed. New highest treasure hall rank. Keeper, Theo Vale. Rank, SSS.
World Hall chat opened by itself. The room exploded. Not metaphorically. People actually started shouting so loudly, the examiner had to cover one ear.
7SHW. Why added extra letters to the rank system? Theo Vale world record confirmed. Darius Kane had the record for 11 minutes. 11 beautiful minutes. Rest in peace. Darius, still S-rank. Put respect on that name. All hail the new number 1. 7S is not a rank. That is a threat to mathematics.
Then, the congratulations started coming from verified names. A retired S-Rank keeper from Brazil, the head of the European Relic Union, 2 military hall commanders, a woman whose healing hall had ended a plague 20 years ago. They were all posting the same basic thing. Congratulations, Theo Vale. Welcome to the top. I had not even opened the door yet, and people were already hailing me like I had won something. The examiner recovered first. Nobody touched the stone. I looked at the crack under my hand. Wasn't planning to. Mira walked closer, careful not to cross the marked line around the platform. Her amber brown eyes stayed on my door. The rank reading is stable, she said, but the size reading hasn't started. The examiner checked his tablet. His face changed. It did start.
Size, searching.
A minute passed, then 2. The standard hall sensor worked by sending a pulse until it touched the nearest confirmed inner wall. For Darius, that had taken less than a second. Mine kept searching. A senior technician came running in with a deep-range sensor the size of a suitcase. He connected it to the cracked hall stone, looked at me like I had personally ruined his morning, and sent a stronger pulse. 10 seconds. 30. 1 minute.
Nearest confirmed inner wall. 631,884 kilometers from entry point. Measurement incomplete.
The technician sat down on the floor. Nobody laughed at him. It felt reasonable. Earth's distance to the moon was about 384,000 kilometers. My nearest confirmed inner wall was farther than that. Darius stared at the number, then looked at his own 26,418 square meter result still displayed on a side screen. He exhaled through his nose. I would like my 11 minutes back. That finally broke the room. Even Mira laughed. The examiner's tablet began ringing. Then a second one rang. Then every official device in the chamber lit up at once. The National Treasure Bureau had noticed. Of course they had. A world record did not stay private because everyone felt polite. Within 15 minutes, I was moved into a secure waiting room with Mira, Darius, and 3 senior staff members. Nobody treated me like a liar. HallNet itself had verified the record, and keeper results could not be faked. Nobody in that room wondered whether I was special anymore. They were trying to understand how far above the old record I had landed. Before, I had been another nervous kid in a hoodie. Now 2 armed bureau guards stood outside the door. A senior official asked whether I needed food, water, medical care, a lawyer, or a quiet room to process the scale of the event. I asked for water. It felt safest. Mira sat across from me with her hands folded over one knee. How do you feel? Like I broke a national machine. You did. Great. Darius leaned against the wall. Do you know what's inside? No. Nothing? He looked at the crooked wood again. That is deeply annoying. The door really was terrible. 7S on the inside. Abandoned shed on the outside. A few minutes later, the waiting room screen flashed another message.
World Hall Rookie Ranking updated.
1. Theo Vale. SSSSS. Size unconfirmed. 2. Darius Kane. S. 26,418 metri squared. 3. Mira Soren. A. 8,903 m squared. The chat refreshed so fast, it became unreadable. Then one post got pinned because it came from a verified veteran keeper.
Theo Vale has not even entered his hall yet. Everyone calm down.
The next post said,
No. All hail the 7S rookie.
That one got more likes. By the time I finally left the Awakening Center, the plaza outside had changed completely. News drones hovered above the fences, reporters packed the street. Bureau security had formed a clear path from the exit to a black vehicle. My parents were standing behind the security line. Mom saw me first. Her hand flew over her mouth. Dad just stared. Lena was holding her phone with both hands, eyes huge. Theo, she said as soon as I reached them, you broke the internet. I hugged Mom before answering. She squeezed me hard enough to remind me that 7S did not protect ribs from mothers. Are you okay? She asked. I'm fine. Dad put one rough hand on the back of my neck and pulled me into him. He did not say anything for a few seconds. Then he cleared his throat. 7S, huh? Apparently. Seems decent. His voice cracked on the last word. That almost got me. Lena shoved her phone between us. Look at this one. The screen showed a World Hall chat post with 12 million likes.
Brother Theo, if your hall has a spare chair, please remember the poor.
Dad squinted. Why are they calling you brother? I have no idea. You're 18. I know. Half these people are older than me. I know. Lena looked delighted. Brother Theo. Don't. She absolutely would. We were supposed to go home after that. Instead, a woman in a charcoal suit stepped out of the bureau vehicle and walked toward us. She was tall, athletic, with close-cropped black curls and a small gold pin on her lapel. Every nearby bureau officer straightened. She held out her hand to Dad first. Daniel Vale, Director Helena Ward, National Treasure Bureau. Dad wiped his palm on his work pants before shaking hers. Ma'am. Then Helena greeted Mom, Lena, and finally me. Her grip was firm. Theo, congratulations. HallNet and 3 separate sensors verified your result. From this moment on, you are under national protection as a world-class keeper candidate. I blinked. Candidate? Only because you have not entered the hall yet. If the internal quality matches even a fraction of the rank reading, the word candidate disappears.
World-class keeper protected status.
My name was already on it. Dad stared at the card. Mom stared at Helena. What does protected mean? Helena answered her, not me. I liked that immediately. It means nobody is taking your son anywhere tonight. It means security around your home. It means his hall cannot be seized by the Bureau, because halls are soul-linked, and forcing one open can collapse the gate. It means we will offer support, not ownership. Mom's shoulders dropped by half an inch. That half inch told me she had been more afraid than I knew. Helena continued. There is also an immediate 10 million credit protected talent grant. No repayment, no claim on his hall. It exists so your family does not have to make desperate decisions while half the world is trying to call him. Dad made a small sound. I knew exactly how much 10 million meant to us. Too much. Way too much. Our apartment still had a kitchen drawer that only opened if you kicked it. Now a national director was telling us we had 10 million credits before dinner. Can we go home? Mom asked. Helena nodded. Yes, I'll come by later with one security officer and the paperwork. I would rather explain it at your table than keep your family standing in front of cameras. That was how the director of the National Treasure Bureau ended up in our kitchen 3 hours later, while my father tried to fix the bad drawer, because according to him, important people should not have to kick furniture. Mom made roast chicken, because celebration in our house always meant too much food. Lena sat across from me and refreshed World Hall chat every 30 seconds. I had become a global record holder. She had become unbearable. Brother Theo, she said sweetly. I pointed my fork at her. There are laws against harassment. Helena did not look up from her tablet. Not that one. Lena nearly fell out of her chair laughing. Then dinner settled. The jokes faded. Dad looked at my black gold status card beside my plate. I want to say something before all this gets too big. Everyone looked at him. Dad rubbed his thumb along a scar in the table. I failed my awakening. You know that. I nodded. Lena did too. He rarely talked about it. For a long time I thought failure meant I would always be one bad month away from trouble. So I worked. Then I worked more. Your mother did too. That part was our choice. Mom reached across and put her hand over his. Dad looked at me. Do not turn your haul into an apology to us. You don't owe me the life I didn't get. My throat tightened. Dad, I'm proud of you already. Not because of 7 letters. Because you walked in there carrying all of us in your head. I could see it on your face this morning. I looked down at my plate. For the first time all day, I did not know what to say. Mom saved me. He's right. Then she added, but you may still pay off the credit line. Dad looked at her. Elena. That got a small laugh, but something in Mom's face bothered me. I had seen the missing space on her jewelry shelf weeks ago. I finally asked, "Where's Grandma's locket?" Her fingers stopped moving. Dad closed his eyes. Lena looked between them. Mom tried the soft voice she used when she wanted something to sound unimportant. I pawned it. My chest went cold. When? 2 months ago. For what? She looked at me. I already knew. The final awakening prep program, I said. Mom nodded. Nobody joked after that. The program had cost 4,800 credits. Mom's mother had worn that silver locket for most of her life. Mom had kept it after she died. And I had spent the last 2 months thinking the prep fee came from Dad's overtime. You should have told me. Exactly. I pushed my chair back. Helena watched quietly. I picked up my phone and opened the bank app connected to the new grant account. 10 million credits sat there. It still looked fake. I paid the family credit line first. 186,240 credits. Gone. Then the small apartment loan. Gone. Then I called the pawn shop. It took 6 minutes. The locket was still there. I paid the buyback fee and enough for a courier to bring it that night. Mom had tears running down her face before I finished the call. I sat back down. I'm not paying you back, I said. I'm putting it back where it belongs. Mom covered her face. Dad stared at the table. Lena reached for my hand under it. Helena looked away and gave us the privacy of pretending to read her tablet. That was the first moment the 7S Hall felt real to me. Not the gold screens. Not the record. Not billions of people in chat. The debt number was 0. Mom's locket was coming home. For that alone, I would have called the awakening a win. I still had no idea what was behind the ugly wooden door. The next morning, I found out the ugly wooden door had a sense of humor. It opened into a room so large I could not see the far wall. For 1 second, my brain refused to accept what my eyes were showing me. Rows of shelves rose hundreds of feet into the air. Some were wood, some were black metal, some looked carved from pale green stone. Cloth-covered shapes sat in endless lines. Crates were stacked like apartment buildings. Old weapons leaned against pillars. Broken furniture filled entire sections. And everything was covered in dust. Not a thin layer either. Actual dust. On the shelves, on the floor, on a cracked statue near the entrance. On my shoes after I took 3 steps inside. I looked around. 7S, I whispered. The hall echoed my voice back at me. I had expected treasure mountains, gold rivers, maybe dragons sleeping on diamond piles. Instead, I had inherited the world's largest storage unit from someone who had not cleaned in several thousand years. A thin line of gold text appeared in front of me.
Treasure Hall link complete. Basic owner functions unlocked. Appraise, claim, return.
That was simple enough. Appraise told me what I was looking at. Claim made an object accept me as owner. Return sent a claimed object back into the hall. 3 functions. I liked 3 functions. I had spent enough time online to know that if a power needed a 40-page guide, something had gone wrong. I looked at a chest near the entrance.
Sealed servant chest. Rank SSS. Contents. Low-grade maintenance materials.
I stared at it. Then I stared at the words low grade. Okay, maybe SSS meant something different inside my hall. That would be insane, but I had learned yesterday that insane was now in the menu. I bent down and touched the gray dust on my sneaker.
Epoch Ash. Rank SSS.
Description: dust shed from high-rank treasures over extreme time. Can repair, strengthen, or evolve lower-rank materials. I stopped breathing. Slowly, I looked down. Both shoes were coated in it. I had walked maybe 20 feet. There were footprints behind me. Every footprint had enough gray gold dust to cover a dinner plate. No. I crouched and touched the floor.
Celestial Foundation Jade. Rank SSSS.
I stood up, very carefully. Then I touched the shelf beside me.
World Tree Heartwood. Rank SSS.
The shelf. Not the things on the shelf. The shelf itself. I looked at a rusty nail holding one support bracket together. Please be normal.
Heaven Pinning Nail. Rank SSSS.
I pulled my hand back. Of course. A soft laugh came from behind me. I spun around. Mira stood in the doorway. Helena had approved one outside appraiser to enter after we signed more documents than I wanted to remember. I had chosen Mira because she had already been there when my hall awakened, and because her A-rank appraisal gift could read layers that normal appraise sometimes missed. Also, because I trusted her not to lick anything expensive. At this point, that felt important. She stepped inside and stopped exactly where I had stopped. Her eyes moved up the shelves, then down to the floor. "It's ugly," she said. "Thank you, I needed that. I mean the room. Still hurtful." Her appraisal light formed over her eyes like a thin amber lens. Then she froze. "Theo." "Yeah?" "Do not move." I looked down. "Why?" "Because you are tracking SSS-Rank material across the floor with 20 credit sneakers." I looked behind me at the trail. Technically, the floor is worth more. Mira slowly looked up at me. That sentence made it worse. We tested the dust carefully. I used the plastic bag from my breakfast sandwich because I had brought nothing else. Mira watched me scrape a small pinch into it with an old loyalty card. Her face tightened with every motion. "Please tell me that card is clean." It was in my wallet. That did not answer my question. The dust gave off almost no pressure while loose. That explained why I had not felt anything at the entrance. But Mira's layered appraisal confirmed what my hall already told me. Epoch Ash was real. SSS rank. And the room was full of it. Not piles, not mountains. Dust. The unwanted stuff people wiped off furniture. I started appraising everything within arm's reach. A cracked bowl.
Bowl of Endless Harvest. Rank SSS. Condition damaged.
A torn gray cloth.
Heaven Concealing Servant Cloth. Rank SSS. Conceals treasure aura from outside detection.
A bent spoon.
Star Eater Silver Spoon. Rank SSS.
I paused. Why does a spoon need a rank? Mira was still reading the cloth. Why does your dust need one? Fair. I found a broken brick.
SSS.
An old bucket.
SSS.
A broom leaning against one pillar. I almost ignored it. Then I remembered the rule my hall had been teaching me for 10 minutes. Nothing was normal.
Foreign matter purification broom. Rank SSSS. Function. Removes unwanted foreign matter from owner-controlled space.
I stared at it. Mira walked over. What? I pointed. She read the window, then she closed her eyes. The broom is SSSS. Yes, the broom. Still yes. My family's main vault has one S-rank relic. You want a broom? Her eyes opened. No. She looked at the shelves behind me. I want a chair and several hours to rethink my education. I actually found a chair. It was SSS. Mira did not sit in it. We kept moving. The deeper we went, the more my sense of value died. One shelf held broken blades, chipped cups, torn cloth, cracked stone plates, bent metal rods, and several things I could not identify at all. A sign hung above it.
Discard.
I laughed. There. Finally. Trash. Mira caught my sleeve. Do not say that like you learned nothing. I reached toward a broken black sword. She caught my wrist. Fast. Her fingers closed around my skin, just as a faint red-gold pulse moved through the blade. We both stopped. Mira was close enough that I could see the tiny gold flecks around her amber eyes when her appraisal gift was active. Her voice dropped. Do not claim an unknown high-rank weapon just because it is broken. I was going to appraise it. Your hand was glowing. I looked at my palm. The black gold owner mark had started to appear. Right. Mira did not let go immediately. Neither of us said anything. Then a shelf behind us made a deep metal crack. A small gold spark fell from somewhere above and burned a hole through a cloth cover. Mira pointed at it. That is why I am here. To stop shelves from flirting with disaster. To stop you. That was fair too. We appraised the broken sword without claiming it.
Failed World Cleaver prototype. Rank SSSS. Condition cracked core. Failed.
I looked at the weapon, then at the discard sign, then at Mira. I think the previous owner had standards. I think the previous owner was insane. A deep sound rolled through the room. Metal against stone. Heavy. Slow. Something was moving between the shelves. Mira's hand went to the small A-rank dagger at her hip. I stepped in front of her without thinking. The sound came closer. Then a 10-foot black metal figure walked into view. 6 narrow blue-white eyes opened across its helmet. Gold lines ran through its armor like molten seams. Its hands were long and segmented. A dark tabard hung from its waist with the symbol of a broken key.
Treasury Custodian Unit 07. Rank SSSS.
My mouth went dry. Mira whispered, Theo, do not claim it. I said, wasn't planning to. The construct stopped 10 feet away. Then it dropped to one knee. The impact shook dust from 3 shelves. Its head bowed. Current master recognized. I waited. It waited. Hello? Greetings, temporary master. Temporary. I did not love that word. Who are you? Custodian 7. Outer Maintenance Authority. It looked around the endless room. I apologized for the disorder. Mira made a small noise beside me. I turned. You okay? She pointed at the SSS shelf. Then the SSSS floor. Then the pile marked, discard. It called this, disorder. Custodian 7 tilted its head. Correct. Most items in this room were marked for disposal. I stared at the construct. The broom too? Yes. The SSSS broom. Yes. Why? A pause. Bristle alignment is below proper standard. Mira walked to the nearest support pillar and pressed her forehead against it. I almost told her the pillar was probably priceless. Then, I decided I valued my life. I asked Custodian 7 the question that suddenly mattered most. Where is the actual treasure? All 6 eyes focused on me. Sealed. Why? Current ownership is incomplete. The black gold mark on my palm grew warm. Then what exactly do I own? This outer section. Certain servant stores. Certain discarded tools. Basic maintenance materials. I looked at the gray dust on my hoodie. Basic maintenance materials. Correct. Somewhere in the last hour, my sense of normal value had been murdered and left behind a shelf. We spent another hour near the entrance, and that was when the second problem appeared. A soft gray gold streak had settled near her jaw. My thumb moved across her skin. She went still. So did I. Her face was warm under my hand. Then she looked at the grain on my thumb. That may be worth a house. I was looking at your face. The words left my mouth before my brain approved them. Mira's eyebrows rose. My concentration resigned immediately. She took one small step back. Not offended. Not exactly smiling either. Try to keep the houses off me. Then she turned and kept walking. I followed, very professionally. By noon, we had learned enough to scare ourselves. The hall was not just rich, it was dangerous. And if I wanted to bring even one claimed object home, Mira wanted a controlled test first. Then I ignored the spirit of that agreement within 6 hours. The object that caused the problem was not even the World Cleaver. I had enough sense to leave that one alone. Instead, I chose a shorter blade from the discard rack. It had a cracked black hilt, half a guard, and a blade with a chunk missing near the tip. Appraise called it a broken servant blade, rank SSS, which, inside my hall, almost counted as encouraging. Custodian 7 described it as low-risk personal equipment. That should have been my warning. Anything in SSSSS construct called low-risk deserved paperwork. I wrapped the blade in the heaven-concealing servant cloth and used return to bring it out through my hall gate. Mira had already gone home to collect proper appraisal gear. Helena had 2 bureau security officers posted in the hall outside our apartment. Mom was making tea. Dad had returned from the salvage yard early after his manager told him that having the father of a 7S keeper under a crane was bad for public relations. Lena was at the kitchen table doing homework on the same old laptop she had been complaining about for a year. Normal life. For maybe 6 minutes. I placed the wrapped blade on the kitchen table. Dad came over and looked at it. That's treasure? Apparently. Looks broken. It is. He nodded. Finally. Something I understand. I laughed. That was mistake number 1. Mistake number 2 was unwrapping it before Mira came back. The cloth came off. The blade looked dead. No aura, no glow. The black gold mark appeared.
Claim available.
I wanted to know what claim actually felt like. The hall description had been simple. Claimed items accepted me as owner, which meant I could use them even when their rank was far above my normal limit. That was absurdly useful. It was also exactly the kind of thing that should probably not be tested next to the fruit bowl. I knew that. I still said it. Claim. The blade screamed. Not a human scream. Metal. A sharp ringing note that hit my teeth. Black gold light rushed from my palm into the hilt.
Owner accepted.
The broken blade lifted off the table. Every crack across its surface filled with white light. Dad's face changed. Theo. The pressure wave hit before I could answer. The kitchen cabinet behind me split straight down the middle. Glass burst from 3 doors at once. Lena screamed and ducked under the table. Mom stumbled backward. The fruit bowl exploded into ceramic pieces. A second wave built around the blade. I grabbed the hilt with both hands. Pain ripped across my left shoulder. A thin invisible cut opened through my hoodie and skin like someone had dragged a razor across me from 10 feet away. Blood ran warm under the fabric. The blade pulled against my grip. It was not trying to attack me. That was the bad part. This was it waking up. Return. Black gold light snapped around the sword. It vanished. The second pressure wave died with it. For 1 second, nobody moved. Then Mom crossed the kitchen in 3 steps and grabbed my face. Are you hurt? Shoulder. Small cut. Small. You're bleeding. Dad was already checking Lena. She crawled out from under the table with white ceramic dust in her hair. I'm okay, she said fast. I'm okay. Mom pulled my hoodie aside enough to see the wound. The cut was shallow, maybe 4 inches long. But seeing my own blood on her fingers made my stomach twist. The front door opened hard. 2 bureau guards rushed in. Mira was right behind them, carrying a silver case. She took in the broken cabinet, glass on the floor, me bleeding, and the empty table. Her eyes narrowed. You claimed it. I decided lying would only waste time. In the kitchen. Yes. Before I came back. That is also true. Mira set the case down. Sit. There was no humor in her voice, so I sat. She cleaned the cut, while Mom checked Lena again. Helena arrived 10 minutes later, took one look at the kitchen, and stared at me. I was gone half a day. Technically, do not technically me while your cabinet is in 2 pieces. Fair. Mira taped a dressing over my shoulder. The blade was not attacking you, she said. It was releasing treasure pressure, because claim removed the owner lock. So the claim worked. She looked at me. Your blood is on my glove. Right. Bad time to celebrate. Helena crossed her arms. From now on, no claimed high-rank item activates in this apartment without a barrier. Can the barrier fix that? No. Then I'm still needed. He went to get his tools. The accident did not make me want to stop using the hall. It made me respect it. For the first time, I understood what Master Key meant. An SSS relic should have rejected me. I was 18. I had no combat training with high-rank weapons. My body had no special relic control, but Claim ignored that. The broken blade had accepted me instantly. The danger was not whether Claim worked. The danger was that it worked at full power. Mira reached the same conclusion. You need somewhere safe to test, she said. The Bureau lab? Helena nodded. Tomorrow morning. I looked at the broken cabinet, then at the doorway. Something clicked in my head. Wait. I opened my hall gate again. Mira caught my sleeve. What are you doing? Finding something cheap. Her face went flat. We established that your hall does not have that category. Something cheapish. That was how I returned 10 minutes later, carrying a cracked piece of pale stone about the size of a brick. A praise floated above it. Broken threshold stone. Rank SSS. Function, defines and protects owner-controlled space. Condition, cracked. Range reduced. Helena read the window, then looked at me. You found an SSS barrier stone in 10 minutes. Discard shelf. Mira rubbed both hands over her face. Of course it was. I placed the stone under the inside edge of our front door. Then I said,
Owner accepted.
A thin line of gold raced from the threshold stone across the floor. It reached the first wall, climbed it, spread through the ceiling, then wrapped around the entire apartment. For half a second, every edge in our home glowed gold. Then the light vanished. A system message appeared.
Claimed zone. Vale home. Range, 14.8 meters. Treasure pressure contained. Low rank spying relics blocked.
The bureau guard outside tried a standard sensor through the wall. It failed. He tried again. Nothing. Helena checked her own bureau reader. Her eyebrows rose. Your apartment now has stronger anti-relic protection than several national vaults. Dad came back holding a drill. He looked at the glowing threshold stone, then at Helena. Can I still drill into the wall? There was a small pause. Yes, Mr. Vale. Good. He walked to the broken cabinet. 7S Hall. SSS home barrier. Dad still wanted to fix the hinge. Some things were stronger than magic. The next morning, Helena took Mira and me to the National Treasure Bureau's main appraisal lab. This time, I followed instructions. Mostly because the lab had walls designed to survive bad decisions. We brought one sealed plastic tube. Inside it were 12 grains of epoch ash. Not 12 grams. 12 grains. The security around that tube was ridiculous. 4 guards, 2 barrier doors, 1 S-Rank emergency seal. Mira carried the tube in both hands like it contained a sleeping bomb. I had seen enough dust in my hall to fill trucks. My value scale was already in critical condition. A senior lab appraiser placed 1 grain under a crystal lens.
A. S. SS. SSS.
Then, the screen froze.
First SSS. Raw material, confirmed. Source. Theo Vale Treasure Hall.
HallNet chimed. I did not even need to open World Hall chat. Lena sent me a message first.
Brother Theo, you did it again.
Then, she sent a screenshot. The chat was a disaster.
SSS. Raw material. Rookie day 2. Normal. Normal has left the chat. Brother Theo, please drop 1 crumb. He has SSS dust. Dust. I am going back to bed. Official notice. Do not attempt to purchase unverified Theo dust from private sellers. The scams are already live. LMAO.
Helena's phone rang 3 times in 30 seconds. She silenced it. We are testing the function before the market destroys itself. Mira nodded. She had brought a cheap steel kitchen knife from a department store. 26 credits, no rank, no special material. We placed it inside the test chamber. Using a small silver tool, Mira touched 1 grain of epoch ash to the flat side of the blade. Nothing happened. Then the dust melted. Gold-gray light spread through the steel. The knife shook. The cheap black handle changed first, tightening around the tang. A silver line ran down the blade. The middle brightened until I could see my face in it.
A.
Then, it stopped.
Storm edge knife. Rank S.
The knife dropped onto the steel test table. Its edge sank through the tabletop by its own weight. Nobody spoke. Mira stared at the clean cut. Helena stared at the knife. The senior appraiser sat very slowly in his chair. I looked at the sealed tube. 11 grains remained. So, I said, good dust. Mira turned toward me. Theo. She stepped close and caught my wrist before I could reach for the upgraded knife. Again. Her fingers were warm around my skin. Her face was inches from mine. Do not touch the fresh S-Rank blade bare-handed. I looked at the knife buried in the table. Then back at her. I was checking the handle. You are developing a pattern. I became very aware of the loose strand of auburn hair near her cheek. Then the overloaded rank reader popped behind us with a sharp crack. Mira jumped. I did too. Helena looked at the smoking machine. I am adding equipment damage to your file. Is that bad? There is no section for this. World Hall chat received the test result 30 seconds later.
First recorded, outside item evolution, using raw material.
The global rookie board pinned my name again. The reaction was even louder.
1 grain turned a store knife into S rank. How much dust does he have? Brother Theo, I have plywood. Call me. All hail the man who needs our trash. Sell him plywood. He clearly needs normal things.
That last message became a meme before lunch. People started posting pictures of cheap lumber, old pans, plastic chairs, and bent nails with the same caption.
Sell it to Theo.
For the first time, I started to enjoy the attention. Just a little. Then Helena told me what 1 legal grain of epoch ash was worth. I stopped laughing. The Bureau had gathered bids from 5 approved institutions. The highest offer for 1 grain was 220 million credits. 1 grain. I stared at Helena. That cannot be right. It is. It's dust. Mira leaned against the lab table. Please stop saying that in front of appraisers. We sold 1 grain under strict use rules. I did not need the money. The 10 million grant had already changed our lives. But the sale proved something more important. I could turn a tiny amount of material from the floor into enough money to make the word rich feel small. And I had not even opened a treasure chest yet. I did something much more dangerous than fighting an S-rank knife. I took Lena shopping. She had spent the last year using my old school laptop. The hinge was broken, the battery lasted 40 minutes, and 3 keys only worked if you hit them from an angle. I told her to choose a new one. She picked the 3rd cheapest model in the store. I stared at her. Why that one? Dad used it for work boots. Mom used it for winter coats. I had used it for everything. Good enough was what people said when they wanted something better, but had learned not to ask. Pick the one you want. Lena looked at me. Theo, this one is already expensive. I sold 1 grain of dust this morning. I hate your life. Pick the laptop. She did. Then a backpack. Then she put the backpack back because the price tag bothered her. I put it in the cart again. She glared at me. Do not become annoying rich. I'm trying to become useful rich. Thin line. When we got home, Mom's locket had arrived. The small silver oval sat in her palm as if it had never left. It was not ranked. No hidden power. No ancient seal. Just silver. A tiny scratch on the back and a faded picture of her mother inside. For once, I did not appraise it. I did not want the hall turning every meaningful thing in my life into a number. Dad came home from the salvage yard at 6. I like my job, he said when I pushed him. You like complaining about your job. Exactly. Retirement would take that from me. We settled on fewer overtime shifts. That felt like a win. The next day was the National First Treasure Exhibition. Normally, it was a celebration for the top new hall keepers. Families filled the stadium. Schools brought students. Appraisers showed off safe relics. Recruiters offered contracts. The top rookies presented 3 treasures each. This year, the event had become the Theo Vale show whether I liked it or not. My face was on the front page of HallNet. My 7S-Rank banner ran across every entrance screen. World Hall Chat had a permanent live thread called, What Will Brother Theo Bring? The leading guess was, A Divine Weapon. Second place was, The Floor. Third place was Something He Thinks Is Cheap. Lena had voted for The Floor. I almost respected it. Helena met us under the stadium before the show. She looked at the 3 wrapped items I had brought. These are the safest choices? Safest I found. Mira, standing beside her, said, That answer has lost all meaning. The 3 items were a bent spoon, a broken foundation brick, and the broom. I had claimed the heaven-concealing servant cloth too. It stayed wrapped around the broom to keep its aura down. The cracked threshold stone was in my hall space, ready to return if I needed a controlled zone. After the kitchen accident, I had learned, mostly, Darius presented before me. He walked onto the stage in black and gold formal clothes, with 3 relics, floating behind him. His S-rank dragon steel sword drew the loudest reaction. The blade was almost 5 feet long, dark red along the edge, with heat rolling off it in visible waves. His second treasure was an A-rank phoenix gem. His third was a set of A-rank king's armor. The crowd went wild. They should have. Any other year, that collection would have defined the generation. Darius finished his display, then looked toward the side of the stage where I waited. He smiled. Not bitter, competitive. Try not to make mine look cheap. I brought a spoon. His smile faded. Somehow that did not help. My name hit the screens. The stadium erupted. I walked out carrying 3 objects that looked like they had been stolen from a bad garage sale. 30,000 people stared at the world record keeper carrying a bent spoon, a broken brick, and an old broom. The head appraiser lifted the spoon first.
Star Eater Silver Spoon. Rank SSS.
The crowd noise dropped like someone had cut power. The appraiser looked at me. This is a dining tool? I think so. You think? It was near bowls. He placed it down with both hands. The broken brick came next.
Foundation Brick. Rank SSS. Damage resistance. Can withstand direct S-rank impacts when linked into a structure.
The stadium reacted harder. Then came the broom. Mira removed the servant cloth herself and placed it on the display stand.
Foreign Matter Purification Broom. Rank SSSS. Function. Removes unwanted foreign matter from owner-controlled space.
A beat of silence. Then, World Hall chat became pure chaos.
The broom is 4S. The broom is stronger than Darius's sword. Darius, I am sorry, bro. Darius is still rich. Stop holding a funeral. Brother Theo, what rank is your trash can? All hail the 4S broom. Ask about the mop.
Darius looked from his dragon steel sword to my broom, then back to me. I am going to train until this stops being offensive. Let me know if you need a spoon. He pointed at me once. That is exactly what I mean. The crowd laughed. For about 10 seconds it was perfect. Then the broom's aura spiked. Mira's head snapped toward it. Cover it. I reached for the servant cloth. Too late. A black line opened in the air above the stage. At first, it looked like a crack in glass. Then, the crack widened. The lights dimmed. Cold pressure slammed through the stadium. People screamed. The rift split open 30 feet above us. Something crawled through. Black claws first. Then a body made of dark glass. Then a jaw that opened vertically and sideways at the same time. 6 hooked limbs struck the stage. The impact threw the head appraiser across the floor.
Void Devourer. Rank SS.
The system warning hit every screen.
Treasure-eating rift beast. Extreme threat. Evacuate.
The monster's head turned. Not toward Darius, toward me. Of course. My hall had finally found something in the universe that looked at me and saw lunch. Move! Helena's voice cut through the stadium. Bureau guards opened the lower exits. Emergency barriers rose around the stands. Darius grabbed his dragonsteel sword. Mira caught my arm. Theo, seal the broom, now. I wrapped the servant cloth around it and used return. The broom vanished into the hall. The Devourer screamed. Its jaw split wider. Then it lunged. Darius stepped in first. His sword ignited red. He drove a full S-rank slash into the beast's front shoulder. The hit should have cut through armored steel. Instead, the blade sank into black glass and stopped. White light raced from the sword into the monster. The Devourer's body swelled. Darius's eyes widened. It's draining the sword. Mira saw it too. Break contact. Darius ripped the blade free and jumped back. A crack ran halfway up the dragonsteel edge. The Devourer snapped at him. He barely cleared the jaw. Its teeth hit the stage tower behind him. Metal screamed. The armored support folded like wet cardboard. The upper half of the tower crashed sideways. A security guard tried to run. A steel beam caught him across the shoulder and threw him 6 feet. I heard the bone break. He hit the floor screaming. That killed every joke in my head. My family was in the lower guest section on the east side. I could see Dad pulling Mom and Lena toward an exit. Then the crowd jammed at the barrier gate. Too many people, not enough space. The Devourer turned again. No. It was not interested in them. It was tracking my claimed items. Even returned objects left a faint owner trail around me. I ran toward the east side of the stage to pull it away. Theo, Helena shouted. It wants me. That was all the plan needed. I moved left. The Devourer followed. Helena understood and redirected the evacuation right. The plan was ugly, but easy to remember. Keep it looking at me. Get everyone else out. Then remove it without feeding it more treasure. The monster came fast. Too fast. I rolled behind a broken display stand as one claw hit where my chest had been. The floor burst. Stone fragments cut my cheek. Another limb swung sideways. I raised both arms. Bad plan. The hit caught my shoulder and threw me across the stage. I landed hard enough to lose my breath. Pain shot through the same shoulder the servant blade had cut yesterday. Mira reached me first. Can you stand? Probably. That is not an answer. Yes. She pulled me up. The Devourer slammed Darius back with one forelimb. His king's armor flashed around him just before impact. He hit a pillar instead of breaking every rib in his body. The armor survived. Barely. Direct relic attacks feed it, Mira said. The sword made it stronger. Your dust would make it worse. Anything that releases treasure energy into its body is food. I looked at the monster, then at the exits, then at the empty center stage. The Broom's description flashed through my head. Removes unwanted foreign matter from owner-controlled space. Owner-controlled. That was the problem. This stadium was not mine, but I did not need the whole stadium. I only needed a piece. Mira, get my family under the servant cloth. Her eyes sharpened. You're bringing it back? The cloth, not the broom yet. Theo, please. She held my gaze for 1 second, then nodded. I used return in reverse, and pulled the heaven-concealing servant cloth into my hand. Mira took it, and ran for the east exit. I pulled the cracked threshold stone next. Helena saw it. What are you doing? Making the stage mine. Her eyebrows rose. That was all the time we had. The Devourer charged again. Darius stepped between us, cracked sword held sideways. Whatever you're doing, he said. Do it faster. Need about 10 seconds. You have 5. He drove his shoulder into a falling support beam and knocked it away from 3 fleeing civilians. Then, he turned and met the Devourer without using the sword's energy, just steel and armor. The monster hit him. His boots tore twin lines across the floor. 4 seconds. I dropped the cracked threshold stone into a split in the stage. Claim. Black gold light exploded under my feet.
Owner accepted.
A gold line rushed across the broken platform. 10 feet. 12. 14.8.
Claimed zone established.
The monster threw Darius aside. He rolled, armor smoking. The Devourer crossed the gold line.
Foreign matter detected.
My entire body went cold. It worked. The stone did not care that the stadium belonged to the government. Inside its range, the floor answered to me. And the Devourer was not invited. I called the broom. It appeared in my hands. The old wood looked ridiculous against the black monster. The bristles were uneven. Custodian 7 had been right about that. Mira shouted from the exit. Theo, don't swing yet. It eats treasure energy. I noticed. The Devourer lowered its split jaw. White light burned between its teeth. Behind Mira, the servant cloth spread over Mom and Lena like a gray curtain. Their treasure signatures vanished from every sensor. Dad stood with them, one arm around Mom. He was staring straight at me. The monster charged. The floor shook.
Owner, Theo Vale. Claim zone active. Foreign matter, confirmed.
I understood the trick now. The broom did not need to hurt the Devourer. Attacks fed it. The broom only had to decide the monster did not belong in my space. That was much worse for the monster. I stepped forward and swept. The air folded. The Devourer stopped dead. Its claws punched into the floor, trying to hold on. The gold line around my claim zone burned brighter. The monster screamed. Black glass skin cracked along its chest. Not from damage, from force. The zone had decided it did not belong here. One by one, all 6 limbs ripped free from the stage. The Devourer flew backward. It hit the open rift hard enough to widen it for half a second. Then the broom's power kept pushing. The beast vanished through the tear. The pressure disappeared. The stage went silent. I stood in the middle of broken steel, cracked stone, blood and smoke, with the broom still raised. Then, the entire stadium exploded with sound. The first thing I heard clearly was Lena.
Brother Theo.
30,000 people had just watched me throw an SS-Rank monster out of reality with a broom. My sister still found the most painful possible title. I lowered the broom. Then the world screens turned gold.
World record confirmed. First, rookie, SS, threat, banishment. Keeper, Theo Vale. World Hall rookie ranking. 1, Theo Vale. Special record. SSSS relic successfully activated by rookie keeper.
The chat counter hit 3 billion connected viewers. I could not read most of it. The messages moved too fast. A few pinned posts stayed long enough.
Brother Theo claimed an SS boss. All hail the world's #1 rookie. The broom lore was real. Darius's sword cracked. The broom did not. I am done. Darius still saved people. Stop bullying him. World #1 rookie, Theo Vale. Sell him plywood. He has earned it.
Then, verified keepers began posting congratulations again. This time it felt different. My awakening record showed what I might become. The dust showed how rich the hall was. The fight showed I could actually use that power when people were in danger. People had watched me use the hall under pressure and win. Helena reached me while medical teams rushed onto the stage. She looked at the broom, then at the sealed rift, then at me. World-class candidate status removed. I stared at her. Removed? You are now a world-class keeper, no candidate. She held out her hand. I shook it. The crowd roared again when the status update appeared on the screens.
World-class keeper status confirmed. Theo Vale.
Darius walked over with half his armor blackened, and his dragonsteel sword cracked almost to the center. He looked exhausted. He also looked annoyed. I trained with that sword for 6 years. It did well. Your broom did better. Yes. He stared at me for a second, then laughed. I hate that answer. He held out his fist. I bumped it. You bought me the 10 seconds, I said. 5. Felt longer. You got hit in the head. Fair point. Mira pushed through 2 medics and grabbed my arm. Sit down. I'm fine. You were thrown across the stage. Still fine. She looked at the blood on my cheek and the dark patch spreading under my shoulder bandage. Theo. I sat down. My family reached us a minute later. Mom hit me before she hugged me, just enough to establish policy. Then she wrapped both arms around me and shook. Lena joined from the side. Dad stood in front of me. He looked at the broken stage, at the medics, at the place where the rift had been, then back at me. I expected him to say something about the rank, or the record, or the fact that 3 billion people had just watched me fight. He did not. You gave the protection cloth to your mother and sister. I nodded. Yeah. Dad's eyes went wet. He squeezed the back of my neck, the same way he had outside the Awakening Center. That's why I'm proud. That hit harder than the monster. I looked down before my face betrayed me. Later, after the injured were treated and the bureau confirmed nobody had died, Mira found me in a medical room under the stadium. I had my shirt off on one side, so a nurse could check the old cut across my shoulder. The impact had torn it open again, but it was still shallow. The nurse left to get fresh dressing. Mira stayed. She stood near the table with her navy coat folded over one arm. You scared me, she said. No appraiser voice, no rank talk. Just that. I met her eyes. I was scared too. She came closer and used a clean pad to wipe blood from my shoulder. Her fingers were careful. The room was suddenly too quiet. I became aware of the warmth of her hand near my chest, of the loose strand of hair touching her cheek, of the fact that I was shirtless in front of a girl I had already accidentally told I liked looking at. Excellent conditions for concentration. Mira glanced up. What? Nothing. You're staring. I have a head injury. You do not. Worth a try. A tiny smile pulled at her mouth, then faded. Do not do that again. Fight an SS monster? Run toward one without telling me what you were doing? I thought about it. Okay. She stopped wiping the cut. Okay. You were right yesterday too. I need someone near me who understands the things I pull out of that hall before I turn another kitchen into modern art. Mira folded the bloodied pad and set it aside. Are you asking me to work for you? Lead appraiser. Personally. You keep your own hall, your own career. Your name stays on your discoveries. If you tell me something is too dangerous to touch, I try very hard to listen. Try? I want realistic terms. She laughed softly. Then she looked at me for a long second. I want full credit on every appraisal I make. Done. I do not certify anything I cannot understand. Good. And if you say I found something cheap, I get to inspect it before it enters a residential building. That feels targeted. It is. I held out my hand. Mira took it. Then yes, she said. I'll do it. Her hand stayed in mine for an extra second. Neither of us rushed to let go. The next evening, after the stadium had been cleared and my family had finally gone home, I entered the hall again, with Mira. Custodian 7 was waiting near the entrance. It bowed. Congratulations, temporary master. I stopped. You watched? Hall-linked object use is recorded. Then you saw the broom. Yes. I waited for praise. Custodian 7 tilted its head. Bristle performance remained below original standard. Mira made a sound that might have been a laugh or pain. Your caretaker is impossible. I'm starting to understand him. A new black gold message appeared in front of me.
Owner trial complete. External threat removed. Claim zone used successfully. New section available.
Custodian 7 turned. For the first time, lights came on far beyond the entrance shelves. Gold lines raced into the distance. The dusty room changed. What I had thought was the back wall was not a wall at all. It was a pair of doors. They were so large, I had mistaken them for part of the building. Black metal stretched hundreds of feet upward. Gold symbols covered the surface. A broken key mark sat at the center. Mira whispered, "Theo." I walked closer.
Outer servant storage. Discard section.
I stopped. Mira read it twice. Discard section. Yeah. I looked back at the SSS dust, the SSS shelves, the SSSS floor, the pile of broken weapons, the broom that had just thrown an SS monster out of reality. All of it. Trash room. Custodian 7 stood beside me. This section contains damaged servant tools, failed items, maintenance waste, and materials awaiting disposal. I pointed at the floor. The floor is SSSS. Yes. Maintenance waste is SSS. Yes. What is behind the doors? For the first time since I had met it, Custodian 7 did not answer immediately. Its 6 eyes dimmed. Then the doors began to move. A deep boom rolled through the hall. The gap opened 1 inch, then 3, then a foot. Golden light poured through. I saw a mountain made of clear crystal. A mountain. Beyond it floated weapon racks the size of city blocks. Farther away, something like an ocean moved under a gold-black sky. Except the liquid shining under that sky was metallic and bright. Liquid treasure. A shadow passed across the distant light. Too large to understand. Mira's fingers closed around my sleeve. The floor trembled. Custodian 7 dropped to one knee. A red gold system window appeared over the doorway.
True Treasury connection detected. Current owner, Theo Vale. Ownership, partial.
Then one final line appeared.
Previous master status, not confirmed dead.
My smile vanished. 7. Yes, master. You called me temporary because of that. Yes. Something moved behind the crystal mountain. 2 enormous points of light opened in the dark. Eyes. Custodian 7 raised its head. Its voice stayed calm, but for the first time, I heard fear in it. Master. Yeah? We should close the door. I did not argue. The doors slammed shut. The golden light disappeared. Mira and I stood in the dusty servant trash room, both staring at the sealed gate. I had wanted B rank. Now the world called me the #1 rookie keeper. My family's debt was gone. My home had an SSS barrier. The dust under my shoes could turn store knives into S-rank relics, and I had just learned the part of my hall that had broken the world's rank system was basically a janitor closet. I looked down at the broom in my hand, then at the sealed doors. Suddenly, I had a new problem. For the first time since awakening, I was scared to learn what my hall considered valuable.